A single courtroom-style question detonated across South African politics, freezing everyone in the room. Julius Malema leaned forward, voice sharp, eyes locking on Matlala, and asked, "Are you John Wick? Do you kill people?" The words echoed beyond the walls, bouncing through social media feeds and newsrooms, turning a formal hearing into a viral spectacle. It was the kind of moment that seemed scripted for drama, yet it was raw, unscripted, and completely unpredictable. The tension was palpable, and everyone in the room felt it, like watching a match about to explode. From that instant, viewers across the nation waited for the story behind the line, for the reason someone would conjure a Hollywood assassin in a real-life political confrontation. Was it a joke, a provocation, or a calculated move to unsettle a witness? The curiosity was irresistible, drawing millions of eyes and comments online, while journalists scrambled to unpack every angle. The question itself became a symbol, a question that felt too bold to ignore. What made this exchange even more gripping was the unusual combination of characters. Julius Malema, known for his sharp tongue and fearless confrontation style, versus Matlala, a figure whose public profile had rarely been at center stage before this clash. The stage was set, the tension electric, and everyone in that room was suddenly a participant in an unfolding drama that felt larger than politics. Malema's style is confrontational by design. He doesn't simply ask questions. He corners, provokes, and forces responses that reveal more than words. In the moment, it wasn't just a query. It was a test of composure, a challenge, and a spectacle rolled into one. Matlala's reaction, caught on camera, revealed the subtle dance between fear, respect, and strategy that defines high-stakes political theater. The nation watched every twitch, every pause, every flicker of emotion. The reference to John Wick was jarring because it carried cultural weight. John Wick is not just a character. He is the embodiment of lethal precision, unstoppable focus, and cinematic vengeance. To invoke that image in a courtroom question is to merge pop culture with real-world tension, creating a surreal bridge between fiction and politics. People online debated instantly. Was this metaphorical, a hint at toughness, or a literal insinuation that drew chills? The ambiguity made it irresistible. Suddenly, the courtroom, usually a realm of measured decorum, became a theater of psychology and performance. Accusations, even framed as questions, shifted power, altered dynamics, and placed both speaker and listener in a spotlight. The room felt charged, like electricity before a storm, and every journalist, politician, and social media commentator knew they were witnessing a moment that would ripple far beyond its walls. Malema's question also highlighted the fragility of public perception. One line, carefully chosen, could dominate headlines, social feeds, and water-cooler conversations. The crowd outside the courtroom, online audiences, and news desks across the country all experienced the same collective gasp. The ripple effects were instantaneous, demonstrating the unique potency of language when wielded as a weapon in political arenas. Media amplification ensured that the moment would not fade. Clips circulated rapidly, and every nuance, tone, pause, eye movement, was analyzed, dissected, and debated. The narrative quickly split. Supporters lauded Malema's boldness, critics decried intimidation tactics, and neutral observers were left asking what this revealed about politics and personality. The John Wick line became shorthand for confrontation itself, a tiny spark igniting nationwide discussion. Then came the next wave of insights as analysts dissected motives. Why now? Why Matlala? Why reference a fictional assassin? The layers of meaning multiplied. The question, simple in words, became complex in implications, intersecting with reputation, political strategy, and public fascination. It wasn't just a courtroom exchange. It was a cultural moment. Observers began connecting dots: Malema's past confrontations, Matlala's career, and the media's role in shaping perception. Suddenly, the courtroom drama was a lens on broader themes: fear, authority, and the way public figures communicate power. The John Wick line was more than a quip. It became a metaphor for strategy and risk, amplified by social media and national attention. Unexpectedly, the courtroom interaction revealed human reactions under pressure. Matlala's demeanor, a mix of composure and subtle tension, illustrated how individuals respond to public scrutiny and confrontation. The atmosphere vibrated with unspoken messages, signaling alliances, vulnerabilities, and the careful balancing act of maintaining authority under intense observation. As the exchange unfolded, it became clear that public perception and media interpretation would be as influential as the event itself. Every gesture, every hesitation, every inflection mattered, and the narrative extended far beyond the courtroom. It was a lesson in how a single question can transform into a defining moment, shaping stories, opinions, and even political trajectories. Experts soon weighed in, noting the calculated psychology behind Malema's question. A direct, provocative statement, even phrased as a question, forces responses and exposes attitudes. Political commentators suggested that this was more than theatrics. It was strategic, designed to provoke, unsettle, and dominate the narrative. Every move mattered, every pause counted, and audiences were drawn into a web of suspense and interpretation. Even casual observers found themselves analyzing behavior, motives, and implications. The moment was a case study in power, media, and perception. One line had become the focal point of discussion across boardrooms, classrooms, and living rooms, highlighting the intersection of spectacle, politics, and human psychology. And then came the ripple effect. Social media threads, opinion columns, and talk shows dissected not just the words, but the personalities behind them. Julius Malema's bold style contrasted with Matlala's measured response, creating a dynamic narrative that captivated attention and kept viewers engaged long after the initial question was asked. The courtroom encounter left lingering questions. Was this confrontation an isolated flash of drama, or a deliberate display of authority? Could one sentence, loaded with cultural resonance, truly shift public opinion and political perception? The uncertainty fueled debate as audiences tried to reconcile shock value with substance, spectacle with reality. In the end, the moment underscored how language, context, and timing collide to create unforgettable public events. What began as a single question evolved into a complex tapestry of reactions, interpretations, and stories, showing the unpredictable power of words when deployed in high-stakes arenas. And as the room emptied and cameras switched off, the story continued, played out in headlines, social feeds, and conversations across South Africa, leaving everyone to grapple with the John Wick question and its implications far beyond the courtroom walls.